Hello, my name is Brant. Today is the 23rd day of August 2020, and I want to talk to you about just actually scriptural references in the Bible in Romans 2:28 through 29, and this is an explanation of circumcision and how many people have gotten this wrong. So I'm going to read the passage here. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly. Neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God. This should be a short passage, but I want to explain some things because I think many Christians get this really mess up here. So, anyone who practices circumcision that has been circumcised is not a Jew. And now, this is pretty critical that people understand that many Christians have somehow choose to circumcise their children. It's really sad. They have missed everything here and what this passage is all about. So a Jew is someone who's is not a Jew, is one who practices something on the outward. In other words, external. Not to do it internally. Not to do it internally what's going on within you. So it's not in the flesh. It's not something that takes place in the flesh. But he is a Jew which is one inwardly. So someone who is actually practicing these things, seeking truth, especially with their heart and their spirit, to live a life that is honest, truthful, that is impeccable. Their character is not shunned. It's real. When they say something, their word is true. If they promise to do something for someone or whatever, they tend to do it. And so it's not in the letter. So it's not in a literal form, is what I'm guessing from here. You're not looking at circumcision to be a literal manifestation. And so what takes place in this passage is a reminder to all of us that we have been we've just been fooled, and in this regard. And it's sad, this was taking place, is that people are circumcising their children in order to, and this is not only the Christian faith, this is in the Muslim faith also. This is taking place with children. I could see a little bit more of this if it was later on in life that a boy would choose to be circumcised. That would be his choice. But to circumcise a child, a baby, within the first 2 or 3, 4 days is butchery. And so what it does is that it creates, it really causes issues for men later on. First of all, It traumatizes the baby. The child has no protection whatsoever. Usually the parents are not even there. This procedure that takes place has nothing to do with spiritual. It has nothing to do with spirit. Nothing at all. And so a child is actually put on a type of, their arms are bolted down, straps, their legs are strapped down, and they're circumcised. Now, excuse me, folks, let's just get really clear here about something. This is enormous trauma for a child at a very young age. This is just right after, and many times only a few days after they have left the womb of their mother. And it is critical that you see this and understand this, because you are traumatizing that baby for the rest of their lives just with this one act. There are other traumas that take place, but this one is with the body and with a sexual organ. And I don't know how people can really come to the recognition of what they've done to an innocent child to do this. I believe beliefs are the most dangerous things in the world. Most religions are beliefs. I shouldn't say most. All are beliefs. And so, guess what? We live in a water world, the age of Pisces, an age of beliefs. That's why you've been fooled if you've been in the church for all your life. It's about beliefs. It's not about knowledge whatsoever. It's not about truth, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Hear me out. It doesn't make sense that Christians don't do anything to become Christians. And that if the story was true about Jesus dying on the cross for your sins, it still doesn't make any sense. You didn't earn it. You didn't earn it. You didn't earn salvation. People say, well, that's a gift. Yeah, a gift of tricks. Tell me, has your life really changed dramatically because you become a Christian? Or are you just simply doing acts that your pastor or preacher tells you to do? And you go along with it because it's a form of, to me, mind control. So what is taking place here is an inward transformation. This is something that occurs and can occur with people as they work with their chakras. And so the reconciliation of to recognize what I'm saying here. If you're living in fear or hate, you're in the lowest chakras. That's where you're at. If you hate other people, then you're living in those lower chakras. It's a fact. Either those chakras represent hate, fear, and desire. Usually sexual desire. And if you look around you today, And I, being 60 years old, have seen many things in my life, but I've seen a dramatic change in what I would call that sex is all over the place. It's to keep you in a lower mind. It's to keep you in a lower chakra. That's what it's about. Many people have sex simply for enjoyment, and I don't have a problem with that. The point simply is that others use it as a tool to control others. So I'm talking on multiple areas here. It's not just simply the issue of circumcision with a child. That's wrong. It's not the area of simply is that it's also trauma for a child, a boy or a girl, that it takes place here with Christianity and Muslims. And how in my day they keep you into, and this is what they want you to do. This is those who rule the principalities, and I'm talking about spiritual principalities. They know this. They understand astrology far better than 99.9% of other people here. They know when things are going to happen with the stars, and it makes it more beneficial to them to push their ideologies, their ideas upon people. And so when they do this with the issue like sex, it's desires. And a lot of times you see simply not just only the issue of sex, but all kinds of toys, the things that people got to have. So they're buying things all the time, and they're in debt. So again, they're slaves. If you don't have the money to pay for it, you're already a slave. I'm not even talking about the issue of simply slavery on the outside. I'm talking about just with the issue of credit cards, that type of thing. There's nothing wrong with credit cards. As long as you pay your bills off, you're not in debt to the point of you can't pay for them, or you're paying interest on them. You can find interest cards. You can find cards that actually don't. You have to pay interest with your credit cards. You also can pay credit cards off each month. But I've kind of gotten off the tangent here a little bit too. The whole thing for you to understand here is that circumcision is an inward thing to take place. And it all has to do with your heart and your spirit. And this is not something that's going to be praised by men, because it's a narrow way. It's a narrow path. It's extremely important for you to understand that. And it's sad that parents are not there when the child's born. Many times the mother is seduced so much by drugs, or the dad is not even around because he's not allowed to be in there. You have those rights too. You might want to look into a lady named Janice Barcelo. She talks about a lot of these things that cause harm to children. So we've gotten everything asked backwards in our day. We pride ourselves in simply is that we're actually progressing. Really? Are we really progressing? I don't think so. We're not progressing what I call the issue of love and kindness to one another. And it seems that those who rule this planet desire for you to always be in fear and hatred and they don't want you to be in love. They don't want you to love others. They want to keep you in bondage. So I don't want to go into more of this because I want to make a short video. It's about 15 minutes long, so I'll cool it here, and we'll let you be. Have a good evening. Thank you for listening. Talk to you later.